You know what, Inaz? I'm starting to believe, just like you said, there are a group of men who women find to be invisible, right? I feel the same way about men to women. Because I think that you guys focus so much on those Instagram women or women you guys deem attractive that you overlooking all the thousands of women that you may not find to be attractive, and you like just like them. I'm talking about these group of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you cannot tell me it's the majority. It's not. It's just
I
not. And
said
like a
that months ago.
Beyonce, huh?
I said that months ago. I completely agree. Keep cooking. Go ahead.
To like Beyonce, that's me. People can like, you know, Sexy Ray is a different story. But I don't think people who go to Beyonce concert are bad people. These are wives, women who carry themselves in a, it's just music. Now, if how you act outside of the music, yes, that'll be different. But most of these people are not like just walking around doing things because Beyonce said so, even though they'll attack you if you say anything about Beyonce. I get that. But so let me tread lightly. But as it relates to women, I think you guys focus so much in on chicks that y'all like, the woman who's slutty looking, the woman who's on Instagram, boom, 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 that you're overlooking the millions of women who ain't like that. And you just think all women are like these group of women because you are attracted to these groups of women, you know? Because it goes back to that bonnet in the airport. You just passed 2,000 in Atlanta airport, 2,000 black women who didn't have a bonnet on, but you saw two with a bonnet, and now all black women wear bonnets. Like, what are we doing here?
I agree we can have selection bias, but I don't agree that men aren't paying attention to more than just the bad women. Men, it don't matter if she walking by at the grocery store, it don't matter if she at the factory, it don't matter. Men notice women whether they want to sleep with them or not, they want to talk to them or not. We are looking at every type of woman. Like we're looking.
So when you go
However,
to the grocery store or when you go somewhere, you're saying the majority of women are not on their act right.
well,
The
I
ones
can't
that
say
focus
that.
on the ones that we focus on and give attention to, like they have segments written about them, and it was back to the sensationalism I said earlier. We highlight the most sensationalized people because they bring clicks and views versus more moderate things, and the majority of people are somewhere within the moderate sphere of influence.
And I also think too, I guess kind of to what you just said, is also about where you are. So in terms of proximity. So if the majority of women that you're seeing is wearing bonnets, and I think Chicago really said he went to Miami and they were wearing bonnets and furry slippers with short shorts. Like, what area of Miami were you in? You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's like when men are talking about like black women as if they represent the majority of black women, it's based on location. It's based on where they're at, because you can go from one neighborhood to another neighborhood and you will see two totally different types of environment. Like, you can drive down the street and literally tell when you've driven over the tracks, so to speak, because you can just tell by the way that the houses look that this is a low socioeconomic area versus one that is in a, maybe a middle class area. And when you look at, not to say that both don't can't exist in the same area, you can have people who are dressed appropriately in a low socioeconomic area, just like you can have somebody that's dressed with the furry slippers and a bonnet in a middle class area. But what we're talking about is looking at the vast majority in a particular uh, area that you're in. And what happens is that I think a lot of men are in places where those women, or even women, are in those places where those type of men and women are, which then confirms to them that all women are like this, because every time I turn around, these are the men and women that I see. So you need to remove yourself from the environment that you're in and go somewhere else. Even if you go to different, even if you go to different like states, you can go to a different state in one area that's the in I'm just going to say hood as an example, because I've experienced that, living in the hood growing up. I left a New York hood, went down south to North Carolina and went to their hood. Although their hood looked different, I didn't know that it was a hood because it looked like they had houses versus us having projects. But I was like, oh, I like this hood. But anyway, the mannerisms, all of those things are still the same, because certain socioeconomic status, you have the same type of behaviors for the most part. So it doesn't matter if I leave from here or go to Miami or go somewhere in Texas, you're going to see some of the same things. So when you're saying, oh, I travel and I see it's the same across the board for all Black women or Black men, it's because you're still going to those same areas where you're meeting those same kind of people. And it doesn't represent the majority. It represents the majority of the people that you're around.
Let me ask you a question. Do any of y'all like Beyonce? Listen to her music?
I think she's fine. I don't go to concerts.
The older I've gotten, the less I do. But when it first came out, I definitely did.
The reason why I bring this up is that
you know, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
I was mistaken.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter what a woman does as far as like her career, her education level, where she's at. If you ask most women will listen to Beyonce and have zero to no issue with it. They don't have any issue with what's being said. They don't have any issue with what's being done, because a lot of women separate the message from the artist and what's being presented. So what I was trying to bring to light of what I was hearing on this one thing on YouTube is that it's hard for men to really separate the good women, because I just said that no matter what a woman does, she could be the smartest woman, she can have the most money, she could never go to a club, she can go to galas, it don't matter what she do. She could be at the lowest of the low of the community, she could be at the highest of the high. The baseline is that most women will listen to Beyonce and not find any issue with anything that she's presenting, right? And so what this particular man was saying was, it's hard for brothers to distinguish even the good women from the women that aren't as good, because the things that women are saying, they might not be doing it, but the things that women are saying and the things that the women are consuming are similar. And so now you subconsciously put even the good woman in the same category as a not so good woman, because you are either saying the same thing, co-signing the same behavior, or listening to the same thing or promoting the same thing that the other women are doing that we consider are bad.
You know what? I think that Black people, let's just turn the internet off. Please turn the internet off. Let's just stop. Maybe this is just outside of what we can handle. Okay. Maybe we cannot handle the internet. Maybe we cannot handle music. Maybe we cannot. We just need to step away from it. Because what is happening is we're just like consuming things, and it's like taking over our brains, and it's just we can't think for ourselves. It's just whatever people say or whatever let's just step away from it.